Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled As in the Days of Noah. The podcast objectives are share the high level purpose of the series, reveal the purpose of building an ark in these last days, reveal how the Father will save us, and analyze why many are doubting the truth concerning the end times. Save yourself. In the most recent podcast, I revealed why I am conducting this end time series. To wit, the Father has laid this assignment upon me because the time is at hand. And my failure to reach those who He has called would be a trespass of disobedience, and I am not one to disobey. Knowing this, why should I teach the truth concerning these last days to others, only to find myself lost, in the end, in a spiritual castaway? 1 Corinthians 9 is revealing, I do this because of the good news, so that I might be partaker thereof with you. Do you not know that those who run in a race indeed all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way as to obtain it. And everyone who competes for the mastery is temperate in all things. Therefore I run accordingly, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, not as one who beats the air. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. For if I bring the good news, it is no boasting for me, for necessity is laid on me, and it is woe to me if I do not bring the good news. For if I do this willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. I am as Shaul. There is no boasting in the knowledge I have received. There is no glory in my fulfillment of this office, for in every case, woe is unto me if I do not do my master's will. Yes, woe unto me if I do not preach the truth concerning the end times. For this cause, I have armed myself with my weapons of spiritual warfare. And having therefore obtained help from Elohim, I continue unto this day, and I will finish this course. And so will you, if you receive and follow the truth the Spirit reveals to you in this series. To that end, and before I begin to unveil the spiritual roadmap that reveals all the major end times events, I have been led to share the high level purpose of this series. That is to ask, what is the goal of the tens of lessons I will share in this podcast? What ultimately does the Father want you to take note of and do? He wants you to save yourself from this dying generation. And the ultimate goal of every lesson in this series is to show you how. To guard the children of Elohim. Understanding the goal of this series is simple. All you need to do is answer the question, how do I save myself from this dying generation? How do I avoid the violent fate awaiting this earth and more than 6 billion people in our world? The answer can be found by analyzing the event most similar to these last days. Enter the flood. Matthew 24:37-38 reads, "And as the days of Noah, so also shall the coming of the Son of Adam be. For as they were in the days before the flood, eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and they did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also shall the coming of the Son of Adam be." You must believe me. This is one of the most critical passages concerning these last days. I would advise you to commit it to memory, or at the very least, bookmark it. Here's why. The key to surviving these last days is the same key the Father gave Noah to survive the flood. For there is no new thing under the sun. By faith, Noah, having been warned of what was yet unseen, moved with fear, prepared an ark to save his house, through which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. To summarize this passage, by faith, Noah, having been warned, moved with fear and prepared an ark. Likewise, you have been warned, and having been warned, you must now move with fear and prepare an ark to save yourself and your house. Now, I am not suggesting that you begin collecting wood so you can build a large boat. Although this is the type of ark Noah built to survive the flood, it is yet only one model of an ark. By definition, an ark is anything that has been formed and ordained to guard the children of Elohim, specifically in those situations when evil is about to break forth and destroy all who are outside of the Father's will. This, my friends, is the key takeaway. Something worse than the flood is coming. In the same way that all who were outside of Noah's ark perished, everyone who fails to build an ark in these last days will also perish. The ark that he has ordained. As this is the case, I will spend a good amount of time in this series helping you build your ark. However, as building an ark is a personal experience, a great deal of this support will occur in the virtual meetings we conduct with our members. To this end, these virtual meetings will be crucial, for the key to building an ark lies in the details. If you recall, Noah's ark had certain specifications, and Noah built his ark in accordance with the specs the Father gave him. The same rule applies to us. The ark we build must be in accordance with the Father's will. This is the only way we can ensure the ark we build includes the critical factor of ordination, and we are protected by the Most High. Isaiah 26:12 reads, "O Yahuwah, you ordain peace for us, for you have also done all works in us." This is a very important matter you must appreciate. That is, salvation is not according to your might, wisdom, or power. On the contrary, salvation is according to the Spirit of Elohim and his desire, for he alone ordains peace for us. Zechariah 4:6 reads, "Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said Yahuwah of hosts." First Corinthians 3, 6 through 8. I planted, Apollos watered, but Elohim was giving increase. So neither he who plants nor he who waters is any at all, but Elohim who gives the increase. And he who plants and he who waters are one, and each one shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. I love this passage for two primary reasons. One, it magnifies the Father's supreme position as the one who ordains increase. And two, it reveals that we have a role in this spiritual process. True, our roles are without value apart from the Father and the increase and protection he provides. Yet he will not provide the increase, neither will he protect us if we fail to do our part in following his guidelines to build the ark that he has ordained to save us. Those who are doubting. This is important to understand, for many assume they don't have to do anything to be saved in these last days. They presume the Father will guard them from the evil, even though they are outside of his will. And if they are building an ark, they are not building it according to his requirements. This is why we must stay upon the word of truth. For he says, each one shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. The key word is labor, which clearly implies there is work that must be done on our part. This is precisely why the Father led me to liken these last days to the days of Noah. My friends, Noah built the ark. It didn't magically appear. He built it. He worked on it. He labored as an act of obedience and reverential fear to the command and according to the promise. And for that reason, Elohim ordained the ark and he guarded Noah and his house. We must do the same, despite what others say. And trust me, they will have a lot to say, just like all those who doubted Noah. And if you don't know why, allow me to tell you. Many of these doubters were never called, and none of them will be chosen. Rather, they will all become casualties to the evil the Father has prescribed for these last days. This is why they are continuing with a business as usual modus operandi. It's because they can't see what you see. They don't hear what you hear, for the Father is not speaking to them. He is not dealing with them, for they are none of his, and thus he will not save them. He will not guard them in the hour of temptation that is coming to all the earth. Here again, this is exactly how it was in the days of Noah. They were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage. Preparing for the flood was the last thing on their mind. And yet, that awful day did come. But alas, by then it was too late, for he says, they did not know until the flood came and took them all away. Can you imagine the shock and the sheer panic they must have felt when they realized Noah was right? Trust me, it will be much worse in these last days, for the scriptures bear witness something much worse than the flood is coming. And if you would receive it, it is already here. Heretofore, I call upon you to stand firm in the truth concerning these last days. For as I have said before, There is a long road of salvation ahead. And if we do not follow it, we will be as those who are doubting, and very soon we'll all be dead. Now, here is the final word. If the Father has called you to build an ark, that is a good thing, but it's just the beginning. It's merely a start. As our loving master said, who of you, wishing to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? If you don't know the cost today, don't worry. That's why you're here. For the Father has called me to help you understand what it will take for you to build an ark to save yourself and your house, and to guide you as you labor to build it. All you have to do is stay the course and don't be distracted by all the haters and doubters. Believe me, they will have their reward. And unlike us, it will not be everlasting life. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on the word you have heard today and ask the Father to reveal the truth to you. Remember, where there is no conviction, there can be no faith. And without faith, it is impossible to please Him. Next, if the Spirit is leading you and you have not signed up for our mailing list, you can go to www.transformationbytruth.com to sign up today. We'll alert you as soon as podcasts are posted, and we'll share our presentations, notes, and other materials at no cost. It is for your edification. And most importantly, you will be connected to me and those who have joined themselves to this ministry as we prophesy and align current events with the prophetic word. These discussions are taking place outside of this podcast ministry. Therefore, if the Spirit is leading you, and only if the Spirit is leading you, I encourage you to come and see. You will be in good spiritual company. Lastly, if you have any questions, please submit them via our contact form on our website. If you have any comments, please share those on the video page for this podcast, also on our website. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast as in the days of Noah. And the next podcast is entitled End Times 100, an intro to end times. I will post this podcast on Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim. Continue to watch, continue to pray, continue in fasting, and most of all, continue to be focused, for the end is coming. The end is near.